Nervous system regulation is the door that God uses as the entry point to do full-on restoration. And listen, I have proof. I remember when I was a little girl, I used to read books, I used to draw, I used to journal, I used to write short stories and all of the things. And then as I grew older, I neglected my passions and I became this hardened version of myself that didn't explore my creativity anymore, because a lot of the times I was told it was stupid, I was told I was childish, and I started to believe those things, and it became the dialogue that I used to speak to myself. But let me tell you about a man named Jesus that was not having it. You hear what I'm saying to you? So this time last year, the Lord had me to sit with him, and he did a hard reset that he called sacred silence, where I was to cut out all noise, literally press the mute button on all of the things that was distracting me from just being in his presence, so that I can hear his voice for myself. In that season of sacred silence, I started to be challenged by God to see things through the eyes of that little girl that I neglected for so long. And once he established my trust in him, he allowed me to become a new creature in a sense. So I began to remember myself. I began to know myself all over again. During that time, I got used to being at peace with him. Because one of the telltale signs that your nervous system is frayed is that you have been operating in survival mode and you're so used to dysfunction that when peace comes, you're uncomfortable. And in that time, he began to minister to me about that little girl who was broken and how he wanted to bless her. Now, fast forward to this year, child, I began to sit down and inquire about the things that I laid down all those years ago that I used to enjoy. And recently, the Lord has been restoring my love for my passions. And so now I am a book reading, coloring queen who writes down her dreams and journals and everything in between, because the Lord used nervous system regulation to restore me to my factory setting, which was somebody who loved God, the bandwidth to be able to love myself. He then gave me a love for my assignment and the people that he called me to. And I was able to pour out in his presence in such a way, not asking, but just being and believing that the Lord would meet me there. And in every meeting, he began to speak to me, and I wrote according to what the Lord was saying. That systematic reset put me in the rhythm of writing a manuscript that detailed all of the things that I learned in my time with the Lord. That structure became realized as my book called Replace. In its pages, I talk about what it sounds like when the Lord called you away from the noise and into his presence. And there's practical strategies to be able to implement what silence looks like for you. So God had to grow me up by regulating my nervous system in such a way that it led me to a path of full-on restoration. And then he gave me back my hobbies and my passions, so that when the work or the assignment got too heavy, I had a creative outlet where I can go and sit with him and just be with him and settle and just play in his presence. Because think about it, when you were a little girl, there were a lot of times when you were overwhelmed and you just wanted to be under your parents. You would grab a coloring book and you'll just go sit at their feet and you'll color, or you'll write, or you'll draw a picture, or you'll do all of these different things. It's the same thing with God. He restores us to our childlike nature so that we can depend on him in such a way. We sit with him for comfort. We don't run from him. The silence of his presence is not deafening to us. We don't feel fragile. We don't feel like we're not worthy of being in his presence. We just feel the love of being around him. In that season of silence, he really destroyed the angst that I felt about being myself. And in me being able to be myself with him, I'm now able to be myself around the people that he called me to. Listen, if you didn't hear nothing else from this video, know that God is regulating your nervous system because he wants to restore you fully to that little girl or that little boy that you have always been deep inside of you. He wants to heal her. He wants to heal him, and he wants you to begin again, but this time without losing your childlike wonder, so that you may sit faithfully at his feet and understand that his presence is the thing that keeps you. His presence is the thing that comforts you. His presence is the thing that sustains you as you are out here doing the work of the kingdom. He doesn't want you to do it from a deficit. He wants you to do it from full-on restoration.